She is a flutist, an educator,
Now blow. There you go.
a philanthropist.
Nowadays I go to Congo 3 times a year and spend about 1 month.
The award-winning musician is using her talent to train, empower, and help build resilient communities in the developing world through her organization, Music Beyond. Meet Kaori Fujii.
My name is Kaori Fujii. I am a classical flutist and the founder, CEO of Music Beyond Inc. And this is my VIP story.
Kaori Fujii, thank you so much for joining us on the VIP show.
Thank you so much for having me, really.
It's great to have you. I've been following your work. You are a fantastic flutist, a musician, and it's fascinating what you've done over the years. Let me ask you first, why did you choose music as a career?
So I was born into a musician's family. I'm from Japan, I'm from Tokyo. And so my parents are both professional musicians. My sister is also a professional musician. So I have a sister who is 5 years older than me. And she's a pianist. So music was always in my family, but because of that, I've also, seen how difficult, how tough this world of music is, no? So I never wanted to be a musician, never. And ever since I remember I was 3, 4 years old, my sister was put to practice 7 hours a day. And then my mom is also a pianist. So, my mom would count how many times my sister had gone to the bathroom. Because my sister realized that the bathroom is the only time that she could actually get a break.
Oh, wow.
Right. So, so I was seeing all these things. I was like, all right, you know what? Music is not a thing to do.
And then you caught the bug.
Exactly. But then when I was 11, my parents and my sister had a concert together. And that's when I somehow thought, I felt left out. I felt a little bit left out. Yeah. And then I thought, okay, in order to survive in this family, to be a part of this family,
To live up to the standards.
I thought it's maybe I should at least know some language of music.
Okay.
I didn't, I wasn't trying to be a professional musician or anything, but so that at least I can understand what they are talking about sometimes. And then so I told my parents, well, you know what? I think I want to play something. And they're like, huh? You?
The rebel?
Right, exactly. And then so, but what are you going to play? And I was like, I don't know. But I never wanted to do piano because piano seemed to be really difficult. Seeing my sister, I was like, okay, I will do harp. And then they were like, it's too big, too expensive, next. I was like, all right.
Where do you go from there?
Yeah, exactly. So, and then at first I started with clarinet because my dad is a clarinet player. But then, it didn't work out so well. So I chose flute. This is where I'm so thankful that my parents were musicians, so they knew good teachers. So I was sent to this one teacher, and she was just absolutely amazing. And next thing I know, I went to music high school, and then I started winning a bunch of competitions, and I went to music universities.
And you won all those prizes. I read your bio. It's fascinating. You are still the youngest to win 3 of the toughest competitions in Japan.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So what was it like? What did it take from you to get to that level of excellence?
For me, I was really lucky because 1, I had a really good teacher. 2, I didn't have any pressure from my parents or from anyone. I didn't have a high expectations of myself either. I was just doing it because it's fun. This teacher was just absolutely amazing, really. She really knew how to drive me.
It's amazing that you credit your teacher like that because it shows the impact, how the right person can ignite something in you and your light will shine.
Right.
I was going to ask you who has the most influence in your life professionally. Would you say it's your teacher?
Yes, my parents and my teachers. I list 2 teachers, and then those 2 teachers were my main teachers, and then both of them they didn't just teach me how to play the flute, how to press a button, and how to blow air into a tube. Yeah. But they really taught me life.
Several years later, you
More than
have
several years, but yeah, okay. Let's go with
you
several.
have now 8 albums. You've performed in some of the most prestigious venues in the US and abroad, and you've played with some of the most notable musicians. Tell me about how you feel when you look back at your career. Are you satisfied with where you are, what you've been able to accomplish so far?
Yes, I am, because it prepared me to do what I do now
Yes.
with Music Beyond.
Yes. And what you do now is your organization, your foundation, Music Beyond. And this is really an amazing story, how you're taking your talent and empowering other communities, especially in the developing world. Talk to us first about what inspired you to start Music Beyond.
Came to a point in my career where I felt like, all right, I had such an unfortunate career, and then I've done so many things, and then I'm really thankful that I did all this. I'm grateful. But am I going to keep on doing what I'm doing? Or is there anything as a musician to contribute to the outside world, outside of the conventional Carnegie Hall and recording studios? That's when I started thinking about, all right, what's my next move is going to be? And then, again, going back to my earlier conversation, one thing I noticed was how lucky I have been to have all these amazing teachers. So through that experience, one thing I know I can do is to teach, because I had the best teachers. I've learned if I can be 1/10 of who they are, I am pretty good teacher. I wanted to do it for people that who really didn't have the opportunity or don't have the opportunity as I did.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
And then I heard about the self-taught symphony orchestra in Kinshasa, Congo. It's a self-taught orchestra.
How is that even possible?
Exactly.
You are a musician.
I mean, self-teaching singing, that's one thing.
Yes.
But self-teaching violins and flute, it's another thing.
Yes.
You know?
Amazing.
And I saw a documentary film about them. I thought it was a good idea, but then again, I had no connections to Africa. I had no idea about anything, really.
Yes.
I was a musician. I was a musician.
Yes.
So, but you know what? I was like, I'm going to go there once to figure this out.
That's bold.
I wanted to go and meet the musicians to see if they are interested in learning. They could be completely happy with where they are.
Yes.
Then it's not my position to tell them what to do or what not to do. So, but I wanted to see that, and then also I wanted to see if I can teach them. Is the culture difference too big? I don't know.
Yes.
So I went for 10 days. And I talked with them, I met with them, and I came back having a really good feeling about it. And I was like, all right, you know what? This is something that I can do. This is something that I can do, and I would love to do it. So, but how am I going to do it? I can't keep on
Just going.
going, I need to have some sort of a structure. So I was
Yes.
like, all right, non-profit, that's the thing, right? Like that's a thing. That's a thing. We should do that. So I had nobody who's in this world of non-profit around me either. So I was like, okay, I'm going to Google how to start a non-profit organization in New York State.
Yeah, Master Google will help.
Yeah, exactly. And then I found it 2 months later.
Okay, and it's been 5 years now. How has it evolved from the beginning to now?
So when we first started, it was a fairly simple idea of teacher training program. So what I thought I could do was to work with the flute players and woodwind players, because they are musicians without teachers, but they have been playing the instruments for the last 20 years, right? And they learn on their own. So what I can do is to sort of like give them enough tips and, you know, techniques and things so that they can teach the community kids.
Yes.
And then the community kids didn't have to go through a lot of hardships that they had to go through. A few years went by, and I heard this story that one day the orchestra was rehearsing, right? The entire orchestra was in rehearsal. And then the conductor said that, okay, so you come in front and play. There was a certain piece that required that, some people to come in front.
Okay.
And then there was some woman who was being pointed, and then they were like, no,
Really?
we don't do that.
Why?
So, and then the woodwind players who were sitting in the back, they said, oh, you should get some training from Kaori, then you get used to playing in front of people. Ha ha ha. That was a joke.
It was a joke.
It was a joke. But then I heard this story, and then I thought, that's interesting. Maybe there's something there.
Yeah.
So I talked to the orchestra founder and the conductor, and I said, okay, what do you think about gathering a woman and see where it goes? No, I wouldn't call it a women's empowerment program yet, because again, I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
I don't know what they want to do, or you know. So, and they're like, okay. So the one day I gathered all the ladies together. Oh my God, they are the most skeptical. They are really giving me this look as like, who are you and what are you trying to do with us? So, and then because of that, kind of we are not good enough attitude that they had, they play like that.
Okay, I see.
That's the thing about music. You know, if you feel really insecure about yourself,
It translates in
Yes.
the way you perform.
Exactly.
I've noticed that.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Even someone who's not a music pro can tell.
right?
It's fascinating.
Exactly, because it is a voice, you know. So if so, they play like this, and then they look at me like, "See, we are bad. What do you want from us?"
Yes.
And I thought, it's like, well, you know what? This is gonna be interesting. So let's try to meet once a week. Once a week for the next 4 weeks. So we're gonna meet 4 times, and you know, let's try to play something super easy, and you know. And then in the end of that trip, the ladies came to me and said, okay, Kaori, I want you to do this more next time.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. So I decided to do it 3 times a week. And of that trip, they're like, we really want you to do this every day.
All right.
Exactly. So they're a group of 13 women.
Okay.
And some of them are really, really shy. They really didn't believe in themselves, you know. And then they are adults. But yeah, now I work with them almost full time whenever I'm there.
Yeah.
Yes, I spend 95% of the time with them.
And you see the transformation. They perform now with more
Absolutely.
confidence.
Right. And then it's not only about the performance or the music, but for example, there's this one lady, Julie. She came to me. She was particularly a grumpy one in the beginning. She never smiles, never. But the thing is, she's always there.
Yes.
Right?
She's committed, but maybe skeptical.
Exactly.
Okay.
But she didn't need to come, right? Like I didn't
That's
force
right.
anybody to come,
Yeah.
but she's somehow always there, sitting and looking. So I decided to work with her and work with her a little bit more, like special attention to her. And then once she said, Kaori, I want to play a duet with you. And I was like, you want to play a duet with me?
Wow.
I was like, sure, let's do it. Let's do it. And then, you know, and then she started becoming more and more open. And then one day she came to me and said, you know what, Kaori? I have been making juice. She apparently had been making juice, but she never thought she's good enough to actually sell it in the market or anything like that. So she was selling it to her neighbors in exchange of, you know, I will give you juice if you fix my roof or whatever.
Yes.
You know, that's what she had been doing.
Yeah.
But then she said, you know, I knew I was really bad at violin, but I actually could improve this much. I know that compared to violin, my juice is much better. So I am going to improve on it, and then I decided to invest in bottles and labels, and I brought it to the market, and then I sold it for the first time. To me, that is the success story of Music Beyond.
Because this is the impact beyond the music. That as they improve
Right.
their musical skills, there are also other aspects of their lives that are being impacted. That's fascinating. That's what a great story. What a great story. Kudos to you. Okay, so now you've been working with them for a few years. Where are they now in terms of the kind of progress they've made, and even their work as a community, as a music community? Talk to us about some of what they've been able to accomplish.
So they have been doing really well. Like you're talking about Julie, that's definitely one example. There's
Yes.
another lady named Paulette. She decided to co-found an organization to empower women across Africa. So she co-founded it with some people in different parts of Africa, the ladies from different parts of Africa. The self-taught orchestra itself is building a music school right now, which is quite exciting because it's all them. It's their initiatives.
Yes.
You know, like sometimes, you know, they say like, "Oh, you are building a school." It's like, no, I'm not building a school. They're building the school.
Yeah.
All I do is to assist them. Now I'm building all the curriculums for the school, and then you know, sort of when the school is actually built and open to public, they all know what to do.
That's fantastic.
So that's the part that I can contribute, and I would give them good materials, good books, things like that. That's more of Music Beyond.
So what makes someone a good musician?
Somebody who loves music first and foremost, who is dedicated, who is patient, because it doesn't come easy. Somebody who feels a lot in everyday lives.
Who feels a lot? How? Is it emotional?
Yeah.
Is it sensitive to nature?
Exactly.
What is it?
All of that, all of the above.
So what's on the agenda for Music Beyond, and even for the orchestra, for the women?
So one thing is that they are building a school. The orchestra is building a school, and then on Music Beyond side, we have our first big concert in Kinshasa. I must say I'm really happy that after 5 years, we are in a position where we begin to not just teach the musicians, but to really empower them and transform their lives and shine a positive side of Congo through events like this. When people talk about Congo, it's always the
negative,
negative,
the war,
exactly,
being raped, and
right. And then
this,
all of that
you know,
is true, and then it is an important truth for
but it's
people
not
to
the
know.
only thing about Congo.
Correct, but the thing is that there are other side of the reality, which is really talented, resilient, beautiful people of Congo. So why not? We need to have a balance.
Absolutely.
I think.
That's one of the reasons why we do VIP, to shed a light on good stories, positive stories.
Right.
So
So I'm really glad that Music Beyond is a small organization, but
making great impact. I know you're being humble, but making
so
great
we are
impact.
beginning to be in a position where we can make those kind of impacts. So I'm really happy about it.
That's fantastic, Kaori. It was so nice to talk to you today. But guess what? We have the VIP game. And also, I know you're such a fabulous teacher. You will have the worst student probably, because I want you to teach me something about flute today, right? So you thought you had it hard before. Yeah, you haven't seen anything yet.
Okay.
All right.
So this is flute. Comes in 3 parts. Can you see this? Or So this part
Okay.
goes into this side. Okay. This comes off. And that's a flute.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you want to hold it like that.
Okay.
So, exactly. Yeah. So can you bend this? Can you?
Yeah.
No, can you? No. Just relax. Relax.
I told you I was a tough
Relax.
student.
That's fine. You're doing great.
Okay.
And then go here, and then your pinky goes there. This one.
This one.
This one, exactly. And then
Oh, wow.
open. Close this, close that, and go. Yeah. Almost.
Guess who's not going to be a flutist?
No, it's actually not bad. It's
It's not bad, but
It's not bad.
I think I would prefer to watch you play. How about that? But thank you for the lesson.
Oh, of course.
That was fun.
Yeah.
So the VIP game is very simple. You pick one card out of the 3, and then you'll have like 4 different statements on a card. You fill in the blank. That's it.
Let's hope I can do it. All right, here we go. So pick anyone, huh?
Yes. All right. What do you
Here we go.
have?
All right. I love music because ... I love music because I can connect with people regardless of cultural language. Next one. If I could be an animal, I would be... If I could be an animal, I would be a cat.
Why?
Because they're so low maintenance.
That is true.
But then again, they would do whatever that they want to do.
Exactly.
You know, they would come to you if
Very
they want an
independent.
attention, but
Yes.
they would just scratch you if they don't want an attention. That sounds like me.
Interesting. That's funny.
Happiness to me is sharing your laughter.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yes.
that work?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
One item I always carry in my purse beside my wallet is... Ooh, I am terrible about this. Like, my phone. My phone.
All right.
Yeah, sorry,
Okay.
that was a
Besides
boring
the
answer.
phone.
Besides the phone, wallet.
Lipstick? We are women.
No, I'm a flutist. I cannot wear lipsticks.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
Oh,
I cannot
wow.
wear. Yeah, exactly.
I did not think about that.
Yeah.
I just learned something today. So that bright red lipstick, not for you.
No. I mean, I only wear it like on
Occasionally,
special
yes.
occasion. Yeah.
Well, that's a very interesting. Kaori, it was so nice to have you on the
Thank
VIP
you.
show. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for being our guest today.
Thank you very much.